Can the Hawk of Japan soar over his bad luck? Hola, everyone, and welcome to the House of Ippo. Chapter 1322 has been roughly translated, and it's all about that bad luck that we saw at the very end of round 1321. So we open up with a discussion between Itagaki and Ippo, and they're having this really intense discussion about what it means to actually have this bad luck. Itagaki kind of touches on whether or not Takamura is receiving this bad luck because of a purpose, because of all the bad things that he has done in his life. And Ippo kind of questions, well, is that really normal? Is that what they're supposed to do? And he kind of thinks to himself, and he says, you have to repay grudges with virtue. So I'll start doing my job as a second to get rid of this bad luck by having a good day and giving an apology to the Aokimura crew. But Itagaki says she's not going to bow to you, is she? Referring to Lady Luck. And Ippo says, because it won't make anyone feel any better, we have to think about the match that is coming up. And Itagaki kind of goes like, oh, right, that's the match. This has to be Keith Dragon's Luck coming around to really kick us in the rear end. And Itagaki replies with, you're loved by the goddess of luck, weren't you? And if I go in front of somebody like that, I think that our luck will be brought relatively lower, meaning that, you can lose luck and you can gain luck. And I think this is an important concept to understand because sometimes in a match, there is such a thing as a lucky punch. You accidentally trip over your own foot, even though you've done the same move 1,000 times, you might accidentally do something wrong. And Lady Luck technically will not be smiling on you. And that's chance, and that is mathematically possible, and it could happen. Ippo kind of says, get our luck taken away from us. That is just ridiculous. There's nothing really to worry about here. Itagaki goes, as the match gets closer, I've wondered if something more direct and bad could happen, like a car accident, or, Takamura being Takamura, running out into the street naked, getting hit by a car, basically. It's fine if it's just a scratch, but Ippo, he kind of pales at this thought. He's like, oh god, Takamura might get hurt. He might die! And Itagaki says, it's a joke. It's a joke. I just needed something to make me laugh. But it seemed to work really, really well for Ippo. He seemed to get very, very scared. And he throws all this pennies in he could find into the money box. He prays. He's basically trying to bring good luck. He's trying to be the best second out there to get Takamura to the Tokyo Dome. And so we open up to the next day at the Kamigawa gym. And, there are certain people who are not pleased about this. Aoki says, finally, so my curse and spirits have finally reached Takamura. It's not just me, and I'm going to avenge all of the years of bitterness. And he's basically gloating over Takamura, saying, you basically need to apologize. I'll forgive you if you get down on your knees. And it's really funny because we've seen this thing kind of tie into luck multiple times, and Aoki is the absolute worst best luck person out there. He actually ended up guessing Ippo's first match, I believe it was, and his seances, so to speak, are always 100% completely false. So getting to see Aoki kind of grow in his curse abilities, even if that's not really a thing that happens in the Hajime no Ippo universe because it's very real, it's kind of fun and interesting to see that he thinks he has this power, this over superstition of Takamura. And Ippo comes running in and he's like, I stocked up a lot. Here are some really good, trendy, good luck things, toys. And he starts arranging these ornaments in just a collection. And you get to see some really cool, unique things, that's for sure. There's a turtle, a dog guardian, a crystal ball, a Baylet from Berserk, and a big Amara. If that makes any sense to anybody, you know what I'm saying by not getting demonetized. So Ippo says especially this. It's called a substitute doll. It's a great substitute for taking care of bad luck. It is, in all likelihood, a cursed straw man. So this kind of goes back to an idea, to me, I don't know much about Japanese culture and their beliefs, but you have voodoo dolls that really can take the place of people in South Louisiana, Creole, and actually in the lower islands of the Americas. There are some islands that actually still practice voodoo rituals because they believe that voodoo and hoodoo can really affect the luck and the physical person with a bunch of different rituals and basically substitutes just like this doll. And Kimura says, Ippo, I know how you feel. I believe in you, but I also believe in Takamura. And Ippo kind of says, I believe in all this stuff too, but I want to get rid of the anxiety as much as possible because as a gym staffer, as a second, that is my job. I need to make sure that my fighter is taken care of not only physically but mentally. So if you can help relax a fighter, maybe make them more comfortable, they won't be as prone to making mistakes. They'll push these negative thoughts towards the back of their head, making a fight much more likely and much more possible to happen. And Aoki says, what about the substitute tall? I'm not an experiment person, so I won't take it even if you give it to me. And Ippo responds, well, I've already given it to Takamura. It's been in his pocket for a few days. And the Aokimura combo basically becomes a little bit nervous. And they're like, bro, that seems like a terrible idea. If you don't know it's going to work, don't put it in his pocket. We're very superstitious here. And there is a phone call that Yagi picks up. And that is where we drop off with this chapter of 15 total pages. Now, like I said, it's been really interesting to kind of see this progression of the cursed luck of Aoki come back time and time and time again. He seems to be he's like the exact opposite of Keith Dragon, which we've kind of talked about before. Maybe potentially Aoki going up against Keith Dragon in a match of just anything. It could be bowling, which, oddly enough, Aoki is really good at, or mahjong, which Keith Dragon loves to play, and I think we could see something really interesting happen. It would obviously be a punny chapter and more of a relaxer before a really big, long, stressful fight, which I think we are going to get. I can kind of expect we're going to get almost 6 months of a Takamura fight with Keith Dragon, unless something absolutely crazy happens. It's what we kind of expected with Bison, Eagle, obviously Brian Hawk. This is some really good and fun, lighthearted stuff before we dive into a really deep fight. Now, I know a lot of people are anxious to get back to Ippo fighting, and they think that potentially focusing on Takamura is a bad thing. What we're seeing is Ippo evolve not only as a second, but as a person. He's understanding these subtle nuances of what it means to put hard work in on both sides and how to actually calm a boxer. And this could really pay off dividends for him in the end. He might think that he's lucky. He might think that he's unlucky. We don't actually know. So what do you think? Do you think Takamura has a ton of luck? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Hajime no Ippo related content. And for everyone new and old, welcome and welcome back. It's your boy Lohili, and I'll see you next video.